Hello, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Hope we're all having a good day. And today we're going to be talking about Tottenham Hotspur, the old Spurs, who are at their new ground. Obviously, I nearly called it White Hart Lane then, but it's called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, isn't it? I've got it on my notes down here. And basically, today I'm going to be asking: is it as bad as what people are saying, or is it just a little bit of a mini trend that's going on with the sort of the team that because obviously they did lose against Arsenal and they did lose here against Manchester United. But are we going to be talking about how it's going to continue for the rest of the season, or is it just a little blip that they've got? But if you haven't already, guys, please can you subscribe to the channel? That I really do appreciate all of that. And I'm trying to get better at this stream in live, like it's sort of like almost like a live reaction sort of thing. But if you haven't already, like I said, please subscribe, comment below, and like the video. But we are obviously into the season now, and as you can see here from the games, Tottenham are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, about 11 or 12 games into the season, and they are in fact 7 points better off than they were this time last season, just before the Newcastle game. And they've only won, as you can see here, only one of three teams to be unbeaten at home before that game, as well as the fact that they have scored 15 goals in that time. So is it as bad as people are saying? I'm not too sure really. I think this is a bit of a knee jerk reaction that people have got, and I think that not much in terms of news other than the obvious one going on in the politics is going on in football, and I think that they're trying to make a story out of something that's not really there. As you can see quickly again, they lost against Arsenal. Obviously, it was an abject result. The United game, they just didn't show up, and the Newcastle game, which give credit to Newcastle United, they did perform well and they did have this high press. And I think that was it a bad day at the office? I think it probably wasn't, because I think people are trying to almost figure out how Conte is playing with his team. But obviously, with the quality that Conte has as a manager, he will get out of this rut. When you look at the likes of Richarlison and you got Kulusevski, who are both out injured at the minute, as well as Romero not being in the side, they did look poor and they did look weak. And I think Newcastle knew that, and they knew to press against the likes of Sessegnon and the likes of Davison Sanchez, the players who aren't quite as good on the ball like Højbjerg, and they are showing that they are a bit weak when it comes to high press. When you saw the likes of Son and Kane up front from, they did look isolated in the game, and I think that was the same against United as well. Lloris looks panicky on the ball as the second goal went in for Newcastle. That was the perfect summarization of how poor they are with this high press. And I think once you get the likes of Kulusevski back, who is key, and I will speak about him in a second, as well as a couple of players in midfield that they were missing as well as in the game, they will get back to where they were towards the start of the season. They still are in third, and as you can see here, other than them 3 games and a couple in the Champions League, it's been going quite well for them, including a 6-2 against, well, maybe a poor Leicester side. You've got the likes of them beating Southampton in the first game, the draw against Chelsea, which they got away with, but they still got the point at the end of the day. But the midfield looks poor at the minute. Basuma ultimately looks weak on the ball. He looks like he's nervous after the first 10 minutes of a game. You got the likes of Højbjerg, who looks stretched, Sessegnon and Royale, who as wide players, and this is the system that Conte wants to play. I don't think that they're good enough on the ball going forward as well as going backwards, which is ultimately the whole game that you've got. Royale can't beat a player, and that's it. That's Conte's main feature. Look at the likes of Victor Moses at Chelsea when he was under him. He looked like completely different player. And we thought that he might bring in a couple of more wing backs. Now, Conte has said that. I'll go to the next. Conte has mentioned the fact that how poor this depth is, which is quite a confusing statement, really, because when you look at the likes of Richarlison, Basuma, Longley, Bentancur, Romero came in the summer. Forster obviously is a goalkeeper, but he's still part of the team, and I think the depth is there. I think that right now what we've got with this Tottenham team is maybe a lack of depth after the injuries that have arrived, and I think that the lack of quality in depth rather than the overall depth is costing them ultimately, because Conte says you can't play 3 games every week. And I mean, look at the fixture list here. This is probably the only screenshot I've got, to be fair. But as you can see, they've got a game every 3 days, including Champions League, up until the World Cup. Then obviously we have the World Cup, so that might help or not. But the player that I'm going to go to next is obviously Kulusevski, who is missing and is huge, and he seems to be the link in transition And once he's back, I think they will be good again, and I think they will be back to the team that they were, because obviously they've got Harry Kane and Son up front, which is obviously, of course, the quality that they have up front, but they are so isolated compared to the rest of the team because of this high press that's against them. There's only Everton and Nottingham Forest who have conceded more shots on target than they have, and it shows how open they are in midfield, as well as the fact that that Son and Kane are stretched. It's not a great combination, is it? Essentially, uh, uh, to finish on my points, I think with Kulusevski in the team, they have 2.2 points per game, but without him, it's 1.5 points um, without him in the team. And I think that sort of shows his quality on the ball, off the ball, and his quality towards the whole team. It adds a bit of confidence to them, and it really does show. As you can see, the next few games, they've got Bournemouth away and then Liverpool at home, who aren't pulling up any trees at the minute. Leeds, who are looking poor. Brentford, that's in December, but they're also not pulling up any trees this season. I think they're going to do all right towards the end of this calendar year. And I think what they need right now is this World Cup to arrive as soon as possible. It's in 3 weeks' time, the last game, and I think they desperately need it. I think they're sort of sleepwalking into this Europa League spot, and they've got enough quality on the ball, off the ball, and in and around the team to be in that top four position, which is where I think I put them at the start of the season. So to answer the question at the start, is it that bad, or is it just a bad day at the office, or is it a bit of a trend? And I think the Newcastle one was obviously a bad day at the office at home. They've been playing well at home, like I said, undefeated before this game. There's been a couple of games where they have been poor, so a little bit of a trend is appearing, but I don't think it's too much to be worried about. And I think Spurs fans shouldn't be worried because Conte is probably the best manager you can get right now. And ultimately, they should be happy with where they are in the league, bar the Arsenal result and the United result, and the one just happened. To say that you've only been disappointed with 3 games and we're about uh, one third the way through the season, you got to be happy with that. And I think that's all for me. I think the questions I'll leave for you guys is, like I say, is it as bad as what people are saying? Is it what Spurs fans want at this stage of the season? Do they? I know they're in third place, but do you want them to play better than what they are? Because I think people are saying that Spurs are almost getting away with it at the minute, and I think that they do have a credible argument towards that. And I think I'm being flippant here. I'm being quite contradictory with what I'm saying, but I'm asking you guys, what do you think of Spurs this season? Is it as bad as what they say? And where do you think they'll finish at the end of the season? There you go. That's the thing. That's the third and final question. But hope you all guys enjoyed this little mini video, under 10 minutes long. I'll try to make them now a bit more interactive than they were. But like I say, please can you all subscribe to the channel? I do appreciate every subscribe that I get. Please could you like and subscribe, as well as every week we've got a podcast coming out. I'm trying to do every video out every other day, and yeah, I will see you all soon. So I will see you later, guys. Cheers, bye.